Top 10 failed NXT gimmicks. Number 10. Showtime Percy Watson. Percy Watson is currently enjoying a run as part of NXT's commentary team, and it must be said, he's doing a very good job in the role, which is working out well for him. At least a lot better than his in-ring career in NXT, which was a total flop. His character was to be over the top and full of energy, slightly similar to Eddie Murphy's style gimmick, but fans failed to jump on board this train and simply sat and watched in silence, which proved to be the start of the end for Watson as a wrestler. Number 9. Leo Kruger. When it comes to this entry, you might be thinking why we didn't include Adam Rose, with many hardcore fans preferring the Leo Kruger character, but the fact is, only one gimmick got him to the main roster, and that was becoming a Rosebud. The Kruger character certainly had potential and saw him compete at the top level of NXT against the likes of Sami Zayn, but sadly, it was clear that management didn't have full confidence in it, taking the gimmick away. Kruger's character was of a hunter and a mercenary who'd get the job done in the ring, but for some reason, it just didn't give the major push the gimmick deserved, which led to it being a failure. Number 8. Alex Riley. Alex Riley had all the potential in the world and should have been a star in WWE. At the very least, a solid hand in the mid-card. However, after his run with The Miz, he just slipped further and further down the card, eventually finding himself in NXT. There are rumors that a lot of this was down to a backstage issue with John Cena, but that has never been confirmed as fact. Riley was placed on commentary and was entertaining, seemingly finding a perfect spot for him, but then he decided to get back in the ring. Riley gave references to the fact he had been held back with his break the chains gimmick, and he came back looking jacked, hoping to hit the refresh button. Sadly, it seemed both management and the fans had given up on him at this point, and his gimmick fell flat. Number 7. Elias Samson. It might come as a surprise to see Elias Samson pop up on this list. After all, he's one of the most over wrestlers on the main roster, and his work since being placed onto Monday Night Raw was superb. However, if you watch his run in NXT, you would have never expected the success that Elias is currently enjoying, as his drifter gimmick was a total flop, with the Full Sail audience failing to care at all. From Corey Graves constantly putting him down on commentary to the fact he very rarely picked up major wins, the gimmick just didn't connect at all, gaining him the type of heat you don't want, which was that fans simply did not want to see him at all. Thankfully, WWE has got this right ever since. Number 6. Aiden English. It is quite strange how things come full circle, as much like Elias, Aiden English is currently working a gimmick very similar to the one that failed in NXT, with the singing being the major selling point of his act. Back in NXT, when he was a solo wrestler, English would portray an old school actor who came to the ring singing while he made his entrances, just how he does now for Rusev. The problem was, while it was funny during the entrance, it was never something that could be developed. Even though English is portraying that gimmick once again, he is only doing so in a manager type role, which is the only way it works, as it can't be taken fully seriously as a singles act, which is why WWE scrapped it originally. Number 5. Derrick Bateman. He may now be in the top 1% with a very bright future that surely has NXT gold written all over it, but EC3's original run with the company in NXT was a total flop, which is what led him to being shown the door to TNA. EC3 worked as a character called Derrick Bateman, and it's fair to say that very few people remember much about the gimmick because it wasn't very good. The fact that one of his biggest runs was involving a kissing angle between Caitlyn and Maxine shows exactly how far this was going to go. While he certainly had a great look and plenty of talent back then, he was never going to be the star that he could be today with the much improved EC3 character. Number 4. Alexa Bliss Princess Gimmick. She now be the goddess of WWE and one of the top female superstars in the entire company, but the early run of Alexa Bliss was far from impressive, with few people ever expecting a solid run from her. Alexa would come to the ring dressed in a sparkly tutu, throwing around glitter and attempting to portray the perfect babyface character. The only problem was that fans simply did not care about it, which led to WWE making major change with her. The company was forced to switch up Bliss by having a major heel turn take place when she aligned with Blake and Murphy, which allowed her cocky persona to really be built up, leading her to become what fans know and love today. Number 3. Bull Fit. Bull was a solid hand in NXT who certainly had potential, but worked during a time when the developmental brand was becoming incredibly strong, with the likes of Kevin Owens and Finn Balor becoming huge stars. WWE changed up his gimmick to be more of a comedic character that poked fun at himself and his own weight, which was quite strange to see, but surprisingly, it actually got over with fans for a short while. The problem was, there's only so far you can go with the gimmick like Bull Fit, which becomes old fast, and you could never be taken seriously, and eventually, WWE reached that point where they took it as far as possible. Number 2. CJ Parker. You probably know CJ Parker best as Juice Robinson, a man who's currently putting on some of the best matches of the year over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where he's making his name as a top wrestler to keep an eye on for the future. However, Robinson did compete in WWE before, that under the name of CJ Parker, and while he clearly had talent talent inside of the ring, his gimmick was a total flop, working as a hippie who just wanted to wrestle. Fans were left confused as to how they were supposed to react to him. Parker would turn up to the ring with handmade signs protesting whatever it was on his mind. However, with the fans showing no sign of caring about anything he did or said, the gimmick just flopped. Number 1. Solomon Crowe. When it was announced that he was signing for WWE, there was a tremendous amount of excitement from hardcore wrestling fans who had his work before on the independent scene as one of the very best wrestlers around today. However, even though WWE had begun to gain a reputation for taking top independent wrestlers and turning them into mega stars, this is one of the examples that totally fell flat, with a lot of that being down to his gimmick. Debuting as Solomon Crowe, he would portray a hacker who interrupted the system, yet it was never fully explained and there was very little hacking that actually took place. While it was a unique concept, it simply didn't work and led to Crowe leaving WWE.